Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to RSC. We've got match day 10 on stream here for you this evening. My name is HUDX. I have with me, for the first time, at least personally, in the booth, Croptopolis. Crop, how are you doing tonight?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thank you for having me, Hud. I'm super excited for tonight. It's going to be a good time. We got some prospect play in front of us. This is going to be a barn burner. I'm really ready for it. How about yourself?
Prospect never fails to disappoint. We talked about it a little bit earlier in DMs. Prospect is one of the most fun tiers to cast because you never quite know what you're going to get. This is the perfect sweet spot where you've got the combination of triple commit whiffs in front of your own goal and then also flip reset sometimes. Like it just kind of is all over the place and it's so exciting because you never quite know what you're going to get. But we have got this matchup between Sonic and Infrared here from the Energy and the Wavelengths franchises, respectively. These guys looking to face off here. Match day 10, we're bearing down on the end of our regular season here in RSC. We've got about 5 or 6 days left for each one of these teams. They play 4 games each night, so all of these results are critical. We're going to take a look at our team stats here, their records on screen. 23 and 13 for Sonic, who will be in the blue this evening, and in the orange, their opponents, the Wavelengths, or Infrared from the Wavelengths. I'm going to do that a bunch. I've done that every time I've cast the team from Wavelengths. I just refer to the team as Wavelengths. They're going to have to deal. 18 and 18 at 500. You want to break down these stats for us, please, Krupp?
Yeah, we're seeing, the top of the tier right now with the 23 and 13. And something that really sticks out to me is that 89 saves against from the infrared side of things. So when they get onto the offense, they're actually being lethal with it. They're putting those goals away. Not quite as many goals as the Sonic side of things, but you can guarantee that the infrared are going to break through the defensive side and get that shot on frame, because they're not leading to a lot of saves against, but their shooting percent is up there. So I really expect this to be a back and forth affair. Looking at the team stat side of things here, and one can imagine that Infrared is going to try and put Sonic through the paces and see if they can keep up with this top of tier class in prospect. But let's look over at the player side of things. What's sticking out to you here? What are you seeing over on the player side of things?
These player stats are always fascinating because you get to see just silly, obnoxious shot percentages from some of these players. Red Wing Legend with 45, MKMKOF 47, and just the massive, huge shooting percentages that obviously are keeping these teams afloat. MKG Robber, Razor, and Financial Greed. Financial Greed probably not going to see much of them, but we might see them fill in. We saw a little bit of that last week where the sub got to fill in at the end and actually did a great job. But then on the other side in the orange, Infrared, Coop, Red Wing Legend, Banshee, and Mr. Lo-Fi will probably see a mix of all four of those players. So hard to tell exactly who we are going to see coming in. Looks like we're going to have actually a sub. Man of the Hour is going to be filling in for Infrared this evening, so hoping to, well, we will guarantee to see them on the pitch. He actually is required to play at least one game, and he will be in for game number one as players are starting to filter in here. We're going to get underway in our first game of this series of 4. Crop, would you like to kick us off here?
Oh, absolutely. To kick off, we go 4:58. We're going to start things off quick here. We got man of the hour in the corner trying to get things past. No, Lo-Fi is going to get it back towards mid. It's going to be a little bit of a stall ball here in the middle and a flick over. Banshee's going for the big brain plays, trying to get it past Razor, but Razor with the patience. We see man of the hour coming in quick. MK with a good shot on. Good attempt, but no, it's shut down on the goal line there. Mr. Lo-Fi coming in, low boost play, but only gets as far as Razor, who's going to pop it back in. And look at this aerial prowess. HUD, I am thoroughly impressed with what we're seeing so far.
Prospect doesn't look like the Prospect that I once knew. When I joined RSC, I was in Prospect in season 4, and I didn't know how to air roll. And Razor Elite's gonna find that one loose in the box on the bounce and rifle at home. Easily I mean, look, totally intentional, turning all the way around, getting the best power that he could on that ball, placing it to the left side of the goal. Prospect is unrecognizable for me personally, at least from what I had come to know, but Sonics have got themselves on the board first here. We're guaranteed to see all 4 games. In RSC, we always play our 4-game series the whole way through. little bit more like baseball than it is like anything else. A long season, 64 games, so each goal critical in the grand scheme of things. Infrared's going to be looking to get themselves right back on the board quickly, but a great defensive stand from Sonics, and the transition from MK is going to put it loose in the orange box. G-Robber up, as well as MK gets the 50, and it's going to stay in the orange half with Razor up over top of one. Can he find two? Almost drags it through. Fellow caster Mr. Lo-Fi's got the save. MK to the backboard, and Sonics continue to chomp at the bit here. A minute and a half through game one.
G-Robber's going to try and take over in the corner. Man of the Hour shuts it down quick. Banshee, but you see a demo on the back end here, so Razor's got a lot to do and does just enough to get it around. Man of the Hour's going to go push it back in. G-Robber up super quick to that. Oh, and we see a bit of a team bump there, so MK should have a good possibility to get it down mid. Razor trying to go for the backboard play. MK comes in, goes for the center here. Oh, and just barely off the mark. Man of the Hour's going to take this to the side, try and get it up on the sidewall, get around one, get around two, not quite. MK shuts it down. Banshee's playing patiently, waiting for MK to play their hand, gets around one, gets around Lo-Fi. Man of the Hour has to step in. You see a bump here on G-Robber, but Razor gets in, clears that ball out, and we're seeing quite a bit of back and forth ball here in the side, and as I say that, Banshee sneaks one through. We got a tie game.
Oh, pinchy here from Banshee. Gets it off the floor. Squeezes that one underneath. Nobody in goal, so didn't really have anybody to beat, but a tough angle to find there at the edge of the box. A great equalizer for Infrared as they bring themselves back level just about halfway through this game number one. So effectively a restart here at halftime. 1-1 scoreline in game number one. Very even so far. Teams starting to get through the feeling each other out phase that is always the first. Sometimes it's the entire first game of a series, but generally the first minute or two, these teams really starting to just kind of get a gauge for what their opponents are capable of as Mr. Lo-Fi continues to push the issue on the Sonics end. Instead, it's going to be MK around two. Hook shot on frame. Can't quite find it. It's just off the post. The follow-up from Razor Elite's going to be to the backboard. Double tap. Not gone for. And G-Robber's there to put it away. The pressure from Sonic really forcing forward here, and they've got the lead.
Wow, pressure indeed. One up for the double touch. Everyone respected it and just put it away. Beautiful placement. Got one in just under 2 minutes left of the game. And it's been a bit of a back and forth affair. I'm really surprised that things are going this way, but you know, we have seen a couple team bumps from the Infrared side of things, so there is space and opportunity. And opportunity there was yet again for the Sonic side of things. Couldn't quite get around it. Razor's up quick to this. Man of the Hour shuts it down. Gonna try and go for a wall play here. Gets it, but runs out of boost, so it's gonna only be as far as G-Robber. Banshee going for a pinch back in, but is shut down. Stalled in this corner for a brief moment, and yet again, another team bump on the Infrared side of things. So Man of the Hour's got a lot to do, but a big clear down. MK is up quick. The speed coming out of MK and G-Robber here is astounding to see. Another opportunity here. Pass down, Razor. Oh, thought they had it through, but it might go the other way. Does it? It does indeed. Lo-Fi from their side of the field. What a shot.
A sniper out here. Lo-Fi from the edge of his own box is going to pick the gap in the rotation and find an equalizer late here for Infrared. It is a big goal with a minute 13 left to score, but one of the things that kind of noticed through this game number one, Man of the Hour, the sub coming in, FA sub for Infrared, not a player that is typically rostered on this Infrared team, but putting in a massive performance, top of the leaderboard for Infrared. And you've been commenting on some team bumps coming out of that orange side through this game number one crop, and something that I thought as Man of the Hour, super sub absolutely popping off here in game number one, but the team bumps that I've seen from Infrared have been Lo-Fi and Banshee running into each other, not Man of the Hour, which is not what I would expect at all, knowing that there's an FA sub on the pitch. Honestly, I don't think I would pick Man of the Hour out, being like, if this was Mafia, he would not get my vote as Mafia. He's played fantastic here in game number one. He's got the lead for Infrared with 40 seconds left, and oh my goodness, a ripper from G-Robber, just denied by the crossbar. 30 seconds left. Can't Sonics find one more?
Oh, and they're trying to get one down. The pressure is starting to mount here. The boost grabs are coming through. MK with an attempt on a bump. Couldn't get it. Lo-Fi and Man of the Hour. There we finally go with a bit of a double, but it was a pinch down, so it's a good opportunity. But MK reads off the backboard beautifully. Gets it down mid. Gonna pass it down to... Oh, going for a little bit of a stuff on your own player. Razor couldn't quite get it past, so G-Robber's got a lot to do here. Lo-Fi with the bounce shot. There you go. Gonna get some security with 9 seconds left.
A cross up here from Mr. Lo-Fi. G-Robber just turning a little bit too early. Needed to shadow that one back just a little bit further. Lo-Fi reads it to perfection, and the bounce shot will get him every time. 9 seconds left. 2 goals in the balance here. Not impossible for Sonics, but to say that it is unlikely is probably an understatement. That attempt from G-Robber only going to cut the lead to 1. Turned aside from Lo-Fi. Still fighting for the pride goal here with Sonic, but they can't find that one either. And Infrared are going to take game number 1, 4-2. Mr. Lo-Fi ends up on top, but a huge performance from the sub Man of the Hour.
Yeah, Man of the Hour was doing a lot out there, and you know, the big plays were coming through across the board from Infrared. Like we were saying beforehand, I really felt like Infrared, once they broke free, that they were going to secure it because they don't have a lot of saves against, and it came to fruition. The moment they got onto the offensive side of things, they got through and they got those shots on whole way across the board. Good shooting percentage. We see 2 with 100%, 1 with 50. So, you know, the Infrared side of things did really well, but I'm seeing a lot of really good things from the Sonics. The mechanics, honestly, are really up there from the Sonic side of things.
Rotations have been really good from both sides too. I mean, we've been able to pick out some of the more egregious bumps that we've seen, but realistically for Prospect especially, the rotations have been very tight, and it shows. I mean, both teams able to generate a decent amount of offense up and down the pitch. 5 shots for Infrared, but Sonics really, they put 11 on, and then Infrared just stood up to the test a little bit better. But we've got 3 more games regardless of the outcome, so still opportunities here for Sonic to be able to get their feet back underneath of them a little bit as we've heading into game number 2. Lobby is up, just got to wait for players to join the pitch, which they are doing so now. And is there one thing that you're looking for Sonic to do better here in game number 2, Krupp?
I really think the Sonics have to go for a bit more of a possession play. You know, you saw a lot of mechanics coming through. There was a couple bit of booms kind of back and forth, and I think a bit of the possession play can shut down some of the Man of the Hour style attack that's going on here, and that'll allow for less of the possession to go to their side of the field. But, you know, there's a lot of what do we think can happen? What will they actually do to make this happen? Because there was additionally a substitute coming through. So we are seeing red on the field now as well. So let's see if that changes any of the dynamics here. As a shot almost rings through. Not quite. And Razor's going to try and clean this up in the corner. Try and get it past. But no, Mr. Lo-Fi is going to pass it out to red, who is low, but is doing enough. You know, going for a bit of a fake there. Possibly going for some breakdance strats. Confuse the defenders a little bit. G-Robber's having none of it. It's actually an outlet pass. Is that going to be on frame? Just barely off. Again, the mechanics are coming through. I'm really surprised that the way that Sonics are passing and the way that they're able to get shots, I will say almost on frame for the time being. But let's see if they can actually get one on.
Yeah, it's been a tough battle so far. A minute in, 3 shots for Infrared. That's 4 from Lo-Fi. Only the 1 from Sonics. This is going to be 2, but they found them in the moments that count the most. G-Robber puts this one, or rather MK puts this one in off the pass from G-Robber. A great 1-2 outlet pass, and Sonics, as we start this game number 2, as we're still very much early stages, they have really looked like they're starting to put together their exits. So in the same breath of, you know, wanting to take a little bit more possession, slowing down that attack for Infrared, they're in this game number 2, they're doing a great job of just making touches downfield with intention. We see another outlet there from Razor to G-Robber. It's a lot of space here for Red Wing Legend in the backboard, defended by G-Robber. Not the greatest touch, but Razor will take it away from Man of the Hour, get the clear out past midfield. Lo-Fi bumped off of the ceiling play by Razor. MK will chip it back across the center of the pitch. Red Wing Legend first there. Razor not able to find the 50. One-on-one here for Red Wing Legend. Up the sideboards, and Man of the Hour not quite able to get that one in. I don't think it ever dipped below the crossbar or the post, and another minute has come and gone. Sonic still holding on to this 1-goal lead, and Infrared, they've had their chances, they just haven't been threatening.
Yeah, there's been a lot of really good opportunities. We saw this in the first game where, the Sonic side of things came out quick, got a goal within the first minute thereabouts, and then the Infrared side of things had to play from behind, and we're seeing that kind of come to fruition yet again. But this time the Sonics are playing a little bit more lockdown, playing better in the midfield, getting the shutdowns a little bit more. And so we'll see if Man of the Hour can come through with an attempt there. Almost got a bump on. That could have been a really good play there, but Red Wings as third is going to be a little spooky. Lo-Fi gets back to it. Nice catch and take to the wall, but it is going to be a challenge. MK, no, Man of the Hour is going to come through, get the block on. Red with the insta challenge, going for the ego challenge, not letting it get passed through. G-Robber's a little bit awkward on it, so only gets it as far as the orange half, just barely. Razor's up quick. Red's going to try and push it back down, but can't really make anything of it as all of the players from the Infrared side of things were retreating as that second and third man position. Razor a little bit ahead of it, so gets called off. MK comes in for the continue. Has a good opportunity to push through a double commit, but nobody again is going for that final touch on the ball. We're seeing a lot of hero ball come through right now. The first person's going in, trying to get a lot of pressure, but then second and third just aren't there to clean up right now.
Now, I don't think I really have a problem with that play from Sonics in this situation. They sat back. They did definitely leave a lot of space for Infrared, but they're protecting this 1-goal lead. And when you take advantage of the trips that you get downfield, like that shot there from G-Robber that was very dangerous for Sonics, I don't have a whole lot of an issue with sitting back and playing a very deep third man to just sit on a lead in the late stages of a game that you've got a 1-goal lead in. Man of the Hour, though, continuing to look for that hero ball. It takes 2 men to make the save, but make the save they do. 60 seconds left here in game number 2, and Sonics have been absolutely infallible so far. They've not put a foot wrong, but they are sitting on the thinnest of margins. A shot for each player. MK all the way across. Razor is going to look for this one. Almost got back to it. Uses all of their boost, but can't quite find the shot. It's a good demo from MK. It's going to at least slow down the exit for Infrared, which is exactly what Sonics need. Time whittling away from the clock in Infrared. They need every second they can find. They've got to find one more. Sonics more than happy to just pin this one in the orange end all the way across. Here's the insurance goal from the front end of the Octane of Razor Elite here. 2-0, 25 seconds for the Sonics.
Yeah, as you were saying, they were going for a bit of a time waste strat, but they were also maintaining the ball and the pressure. They kept the ball on the orange side of the field. They continued to get the boost, the bumps. They were going through and just cycling really, really well. And it came to a really good opportunity right in front of the net, and they got their security goal in. So 20 seconds left. Let's see if Lo-Fi can get one back. Get back within the time margin needed. No, not quite. That was a good defensive stand. Man of the Hour coming through. Good shot on. Couldn't quite get there. So we got 5 seconds left. Let's see if they can get anything pushing through. Ball's coming to a standstill here. G-Robber's just got to get up to it. Kill the ball. There it is. And we have a tied series 1-1.
Tied series 1-1, and a defensive masterclass from the Sonics. I hadn't quite looked at the save numbers before the end of the game there. The reason why Sonics win this game is because all but one of Infrared shots were accounted for off of a blue car at some point in the blue box. Literally all but one of them. So even though Infrared are, racking up decent shot totals. I mean, quick caster maths, 8 shots over the course of a game is not a bad shot line by any stretch, but when you find 7 saves on the defensive end, as Sonics did in that game number 2, it's going to be tough to find anything through. And then the other side of that, Sonics take all of that offense that they're absorbing and turn it, or all that offense that they're absorbing, all the defense that they're having to put on, and turning it into an offense of their own. They're suckering that Infrared attack in, leaving their back line exposed, and Sonics doing a great job picking it apart downfield. I think both of their goals, 2 goals, 2 assists, so an assist on each of them. I think they were both like downfield outlet pass, bang bang plays. So Sonics are doing a great job of being able to really kind of parry that the offense of Infrared, turning into offense for themselves. It does say best of 7. It should not say best of 7. It should say series of 4 because we play all 4 games. We're getting into game number 3 now, so we're guaranteed to have 3 and 4. So make sure you guys stick around for all 4 of them. If you're new to RSC, as we get into game number 3, !Discord in the chat will get you an invite to the Discord server where all of the things go on. So if you are interested in joining up, now's not a bad time to do it. The season's winding down. Season 15 will be starting before any of us are aware. And 10 seconds into this game number 3, as we are wrapping up season 14 now, it is all up to these teams. A tied series 2 or 1-1 game apiece. And really nobody quite exerting their will over this series quite yet. Sonics was a pretty convincing game in game number 2, but really only after we looked at the stats, Crop. I mean, through that entire one, it was just Infrared trying to push to find that one goal that they needed, because it was just that close the entire way through.
Yeah, it was a really good back and forth affair the entire way through, like you were saying. And honestly, there's a little bit of lethality missing from the shots from the Infrared side of things. They're getting stuff close to mid. They're kind of sort of getting pop shots on, but it's not quite enough to get past this Sonics defensive edge. I mean, they're really playing solid lockdown. Never mind. Lo-Fi comes up, shuts me up. Wait, are you talking about me? He said, and just absolutely slots it. What a nice follow-up touch here. Gets one over the defender. And that's what I'm talking about. Just get in there. Get one extra touch. Really make it lethal. Because previous to this, it was a lot of, kind of soft touches, shots from kind of midfield almost, and then just immediately puts one through. So now it is time for the Sonics to answer back.
Lo-Fi said lack of lethality? What do you mean it's not lethal enough? I'll show you lethal. He puts that one in. That's the first goal in 6 minutes of gameplay for the Infrared. Really could not come at a better time as they take the lead here in game number 3, but immediately back on the offensive is Sonics. It's a good shot from Robert, but 2 players from the defensive Infrared just sitting back, and might see a little bit of the opposing turtle game as Lo-Fi almost finds a second there for Infrared. It'll be scooted out towards the sideboards by MK. Gets it past 1. No boost in the tank. He's going to continue to take up some territory here. Forces the early challenge out of Lo-Fi. Red Wing is there to take the save and take the goal away from G-Robber. And Lo-Fi is going to get a long exit clear this time. And it's a flipping of the script here in game number 2. Infrared catch Sonics out again, and Lo-Fi's got a brace.
Yeah, Sonics was just pushing up a little bit too much, trying to do a little bit too much on the offensive side of things, and it's just a pop shot from the other side of the field. But hey, it's enough to get some insurance going. And you know what? As I was saying, they weren't lethal enough. They just come through and shut me up in big ways. They're looking really solid from the offensive side, even from their defensive half. They're putting a lot of really good pressure through here. And part of that is coming through Sonics. They were kind of chasing that 1-goal deficit. They got plenty of time left. You don't got to get jumpy quite yet. So let's see if they can settle things down, take control. Razor trying to get it past, couldn't quite do so. Red Wings is going to go for the push-up. Low on boost. That seems to be the name of the game for a couple of these touches here. Low on boost, but man of the hour trying to get it back out mid. No, Mr. Lo-Fi putting another one on frame, but saved out this time. G-Robber's got a lot to do in this corner. Enough boost to go from the Infrared side of things, but they're keeping the ball on their offensive side, and a demo comes through from Lo-Fi. Red Wings, do you have opportunity? No, gets it back mid. Oh, and it's just off for man of the hour. So now we're gonna go the other way. Razor trying to get it back down. No, couldn't quite get it mid. And MK with the big pre-jump, so might get a little bit of pressure alleviated from the Infrared side of things, and with that clear, I do believe it is gonna be pressure going the other way for a moment here.
Low boost is the name of the game in Prospect in general. That was I don't think a better indicator of how low the boost was than that last progression out of the orange end, where Sonics really just kind of let the ball float around midfield, and nobody from Infrared could go for it because they had no boost. Another attempt here from Razor's. G-Robber lets it drop it in the box. It's going to be high off the backboard. 90 seconds left, and Sonic still held entirely off the scoreboard. Razor is going to change that as the words come out of my mouth. A massive play from Razor Elite at the edge of the orange goal box. He's going to put it home on a great read, a lead cut to 1.
Wow, is anyone going to score in this series without it being a caster curse?
Caster curses only.
I will say that that was a beautiful continuation from MK to actually get it back down to the middle, and Razor has shown time and time again the speed in the air and the absolute slot on that shot. Just beautiful placement. Way to put it away. G-Robber, got to get this one out. They are down by 1. Got to get one back. Just over a minute left. Ball's kind of floating around in the mid here. Mr. Lo-Fi coming in. Gonna try and get it up the wall here. See if they can get it back mid. G-Robber's playing patient. Gonna go up for the play here. Man of the hour, but gets bumped off. So Razor's now gonna take over. And we're seeing a lot of 50-50s in the corners here. Not a lot of plays going towards the mid from either side. As I say that, MK sends one up. Grave Robber attempting to go in there. Couldn't quite get around it. Razor, pop mid. G-Robber attempted to turn in, but no. Seeing a lot of back and forth. A lot of plays going in these corners. Can they get one back to the mid? The big pre-jump coming through from Razor, but it's open. Oh. And there it is, the tie at 27 seconds.
Send 2. Other team sends 2. G-Robber just a little bit closer than the third defender for Infrared. And with 27 seconds, we got a tie ball game because of course we do. This series has been way too close for any of these games to be blowouts one way or the other. And still time for one of these teams to get it done in regulation. But if they can't, we'll see our first overtime. Man of the hour trying to get it out of the zone there. It's going to drop the Red Wing Legend instead. A soft touch, easily defended by G-Robber. Man of the hour cuts it back at midfield. Razor Elite's going to be first to it. A high pop, dangerous ball into the box here. Razor Elite can't find it before Red Wing Legends got the save. And with one more chance to maybe force it through, Lo-Fi will guide it down to the ground. And we see extra time for the first time tonight.
Oh, and I'm excited to see it. Big kickoff win here. Red trying to get it back mid. Lo-Fi on the opposite side. Can they get it through? Oh, barely got a shot on. Just got a save. Let's see, Sonics can button it up things here. Razor coming through. Good push down. Got past 1, couldn't get past 2. Man of the hour trying to go for a little doink. I like the continuation try. MK is going to shut it down. Oh my, I have no idea what's going to happen. The clock's counting up. I don't even know what's going on here. Who's going to take this?
I couldn't pick a team for the life of me right now. I feel like it has been so... At any moment, the momentum just kind of gets ripped away. Lo-Fi's been on fire, though. Tries to find the game winner, and it's turned aside by G-Robber. Also having a great game. Both these teams really executing well, but unfortunately, the last touch from Lo-Fi there is going to go into the wrong net. And after a killer performance from every player on Infrared, Sonics are going to steal away game number 3.
Oh, mine. It was a bit of an own goal. They were both rushing back, made sure they had to get a touch on. It's overtime. The ball was heading towards net, but it just wasn't quite enough to get it out of the box. And an unfortunate own goal there. But hey, it was a lot of really good pressure. And again, as we were talking about, it goes back and forth and back and forth. I really wasn't expecting it to be a shot from the other side of the field, but here we are. And again, look at the rack of the points here. Oh my word. Banking them up.
it's tough. And the games on Wednesday last week were a lot like this, where we sat and we talked about productive losses. Trippin and I, we talked about losses that, even though they counted as an L, didn't necessarily feel like a loss. 10 shots for Sonics, 8 shots for Infrared, very evenly paced. 7 saves for Infrared to 6 for Sonics. Like, we went to overtime, so naturally it's a close game. But this doesn't feel, even though it was a close loss, I just feel like this one really sucks for Infrared, because they're really trying. Infrared are trying to grind. They're at 500. They're really working to try to get into the playoffs and a good seed. Meanwhile, Sonics just continuing to add dubs to the column. Like, Infrared need these wins a little bit more than Sonics do, and to have that one just barely get away from them at the very end is really rough. So we're gonna have to see what they've got going into game number 3 here. A 2-2 split is big for the Infrared. Every win that the Infrared can get is big for them, but the Sonics, they're willing and able to just cruise this one through to a 3-1.
Yeah, and it was really important in that last game that they shut down Man of the Hour's scoring. I mean, held to just under 200. That's big for the Sonic side of things, not allowing Man of the Hour to pop off. The sub here has been just going off on the offensive side of things, and so really keeping that quiet is going to be the big differentiator for the Sonic side of things, because the moment you can shut down the offense on the other side, you know that your offense and your prowess to get the ball up in the air and get the pressure going, as we're seeing here. The Sonics are comfortable here, so just continue with that forward momentum, and we could see a 3-1, but just as likely we could see a 2-2. Not with this amount of pressure. Oh my, all three in the box. You love to see it. MK continues and seals the deal.
If you're going to send all three, you better score. That's really what it comes down to. You're at that point where you've got all three attackers forwards. Somebody better find a way to put that in the back of the net. And the Sonics do just that. It is a great goal for them to put themselves up early here in game number 4. We saw them play out a 1-goal lead for 4 minutes and 30 seconds. So they've got the ability to sit and protect these close leads. So we'll have to see if they can replicate that there. I think the offense for Infrared looking a lot stronger in the back half of this series than it did in game number 2. So if Sonics are going to try to run back that turtle strat that we saw them pull out in game number 2, it's going to be a much taller task here, as Infrared have kind of started to tighten up their offensive looks. A miss from G-Robber might have just been a leave for Razor. Double commit by Red Wing Legend and Man of the Hour. Not quite what Infrared was looking for as far as exits on the zone, but Sonics are going to get that dump all the way down in the orange end, and every time they put the ball long, it's just another 10 seconds going off the clock, and while it's not a ton to start out with, it stacks up quickly, and they're still going to look for goals here as MK continues to try to put in the offensive performance of the match. Denied on the goal line by the defense of Infrared, who's going to have to be up to the task here. One more goal, Sonics could very well lock it up. They've been so strong defensively, so going to have to see if anything can come out from Infrared before Sonics can find one more. 3 minutes and 8 seconds left here in game number 4. MK to the backboard. G-Robber not able to get there in time. Lo-Fi is beating everybody. Can he put it on frame? Not quite. Can't wrap around it. And it's going to be back the other way just like that. Man of the Hour with a 50 puts it right back in the blue box. And Infrared really trying to put down some stakes here, but the defense, the rotations from Sonics has just been so clean.
Yeah, and I like the...
Stay
out!
No. There it is.
I was just about to say, I like the change of strategy coming through from the Sonic side of things. They're not going to just turtle up. They're going to continue this offensive push. You can see the change coming through here. That, you know, I didn't want to see them just take that one goal and just go back and play defense for the entire time, because as you were saying, Infrared really has been starting to warm up. But, you know, if they're going to put one away, get some insurance at about the halfway mark, that might be what can get them the game here. But we do have quite a bit of game left to play indeed. Man of the Hour going to try and get it popped back towards the mid. Can't quite do so. MK in the corner beats 2. See if they can get around the ball. They can. Red shuts it down, and a demo comes through. So demo on the shooter. Really big plays coming through there. G-Robber trying to pass back. Does so actually, and gets a screamer on net from the midfield. Razor's up quick to this. Razor has been absolutely lethal in the air here. Gets one down.
Goodness.
Wow. Astounding plays.
This is what I meant. Prospect, just, you never quite know. You never know. Razor's been on it, and really tell that he's been out there grinding those training packs. MK is going to get the credit on the tap-in, but Razor makes that play. 3 goals for MK. All 3 of them have come off of Razor at some point before they've gone to the back of the net, so that connection is really locked in for Sonics here. It makes sense. We looked at a lot of their stats, and a lot of those stats make sense now. Looking at how automatic the offense has been between MK and Razor. G-Robber really just there, kind of the glue guy holding this together and keeping the rotation smooth. Rocket League, especially threes, is one of those things where you can have 2 players that really are great downfield, but if your third doesn't know exactly what they're doing to best support those 2 ball hawks, it doesn't matter. You could have Justin and Garrett G out there and put me on the pitch where I've got no field awareness, and they'll still find a way to lose those games. Like, it's going to happen. So a third man, even though maybe not looking like it on the scoreboard, still critical to the success of any team in Rocket League at any level. And Sonics, I think all 3 of them have played all 3 roles over the course of this night. Almost a 4th for MK, and it's going to be G-Robber that'll put this one away. It is a huge outpouring of goals here in game number 4, and Sonics looking like they're going to wrap this one up.
Yeah, there's so much pressure coming through. All 3 were flat-footed on the goal line there, on the Infrared side of things, and Wow, MK already at 600, got a minute left. They've just continued to push on this Sonic side of things. They're not going to just sit back and play defense this game. They are trying to make a statement
Oh.
here, and maybe they can get another with a bump. They absolutely can, and it's just like clockwork, like you're saying. Razor to MK. Go ahead and mark it down yet again.
I really thought Razor was just gonna smack that one in off the dunk, and I would have jumped out of my seat, I think, if he had pulled that one off. But instead, it's just the thing that we all could have anticipated happening, which is MK scoring again and Razor getting another assist. So 4 goals for Sonics, or 5 goals for Sonics, 4 goals for just MK, and 4 assists for Razor. MK, the only one with a cycle, which is one of my favorite like non-stat stats. He's had a great series. Done a little bit of everything, especially here in Game 4. We got a Rule 1 to help close out the series in 2-on-2 action. Oh, it got bumped apart by Man of the Hour. Unfortunate that we didn't get to see that go a little bit longer because they're always ridiculous. But the Sonics not really needing any help to find a way to this win. They don't need that pseudo man advantage and you know, the game mode shift in the middle of the match. They've got this 5-0 pretty much locked in. They're still fighting for a 6th though. Centering ball from Razor. G-Robber can't find the shot through Man of the Hour. He's gonna take it out towards midfield, but MK there in his face quickly. Razor pre-jumping just for the heck of it, and ball will touch down. Sonics, a dominant way to close out this series, 3-1 for the blue team.
Wow, and look at that. The 4 goals. MK on 6 shots. Assists across the board there. Razor to MK. That team play was just brutal in that 4th game there. They really were warming up. It was a close series the whole way through. And hey, GG's to both teams. Infrared fought well, but man, Sonics just turned it on, got the victory there in the overtime in game 3, and just decided, hey, this is our series. We are going to close this out in emphatic fashion. They came out swinging in that 4th game.
And did not pull their punches for sure. Definitely seeing the reason why Energy and Sonic are one of the top franchises in Prospect, one of the top teams in Prospect. So really showing us exactly what that is. But Infrared, I mean, you know, I talked a little bit about productive losses and how Game 3 didn't feel like a productive loss for Infrared in the microcosm of this series. But as far as the whole season goes, and as far as Infrared's abilities as a team go, I do think they played very well against this Sonic team, who we know is good just by their record coming into this, and then what we saw on stream. I think that Infrared really don't have anything to be ashamed of, don't have anything to have their heads down about coming out of this one. I think at bare minimum, they've got some nice VODs to be able to go back in and look at, and playing with a sub coming off the bench and keeping this one as close as it was is no easy feat. It's tough to be able to have somebody just slot right into your own your lineup on a match night just kind of out of the blue. So props to Infrared for keeping it competitive all the way through. The only one that was more than a 1 goal difference was that game number 4. So really fighting all the way wire to wire and giving us a great series. Fantastic showings as always from the Prospect tier. And Crop, fantastic first cast with you, my friend.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a ton of fun.